We had a succession of bubbles. We had a very bubbly economy, several bubbles in a row. Of course, we had at the end, around the year 2000, we had the bubble in technology stocks. And that was quickly followed by a bubble in housing. And then we had a bubble in commodity prices, which people tend to have forgotten about. And then suddenly these bubbles popped simultaneously. And it squeezed, it pinched consumers around the world. At the same time, we had a horrendous level of speculation in the residential housing sector. I don't see another bubble in commodities coming soon, primarily because China has slowed down sharply. I think we had a sort of investment mania in commodities in recent years. You had pension funds, you had individuals. Heck, you couldn't turn on an AM radio station. You still can't. Anywhere in America, you cannot listen to AM radio without some former celebrity star telling you to buy gold and other commodities, and pension funds plowing investment money into commodities as if it were a one-way bet. But commodities are not a one-way bet. I think that the slowdown in China will contain commodity prices for some time. Now, gold might be a little bit different because in some ways gold is a vote by investors on what they think of governments and central banks. And right now, most governments are held in very low esteem. Central banks are not held in high esteem, and that means gold is an alternative investment. I'm not saying I'm a gold bug, and I'm certainly not telling people to go out and buy gold at this moment, but other commodities, I think, are being pressed down by the sharp slowdown in the Chinese economy. We finally are at least scraping the bottom of the housing market, and I think it's actually a little bit better than that. Just today, we had data on mortgage applications being up rather sharply. Most of the price indices, Case-Shiller and the like, are showing housing prices across the country up at least a couple percentage points. In some of the very hard-hit areas, such as Phoenix, we're seeing in some cases double-digit housing price increases year over year. We're seeing more than one buyer showing up when a house is put on sale. Now, I'm certainly not telling the industry to pop champagne corks. Happy days are not here again and are unlikely to be here again in that sort of way. But I think there's a sense of greater security in the housing sector. So we are seeing, for instance, the most recent construction reports, which came out yesterday, showing residential construction moving up over the course of the last month and over the last year, as well as multifamily. And that is all good, of course, for the window and door manufacturers. So I think for the first time in a long time, for the first time since, say, 2007, I think members of the association will start feeling not just that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but they actually can see that beam and it may actually be aiming at them.